Hey, what's up everybody? This is Jeff. So today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of Hawaii. It's going to vary depending on the islands, of course, so I'm going to do my best to lump them all into one video about the state. I debated doing it about the Big Island, but we'll just cut to chase with the full state. So we'll start out with the pros. Weather. So a pro about the weather. It is more often than not sunny year-round, tropical weather, temperate in many spots. Places like Hilo, Hana, Hanalei, it is fairly rainy. They do have a rainy season in certain places. But for the most part, if you're not in those rainforest areas, if you're in places like Kihei, Lahaina, Kona, Waikoloa, Waikiki, it is a lot of sunshine. A lot. Like 10 months out of the year, guaranteed sunshine. And if you want the rain, you can get the rain and go to Hilo. Bear in mind, it also snows here in Hawaii. I think Haleakala might get some snow, but I know for a fact Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa do get snow. They've already had snow, what, 2 or 3 times this year on the summit, and that's been in the last month. At that same time, Kona was still kind of hot in the daytime, but recently we've had some storms that came in from the east. They came in from the west. So more often than not, Kona is protected by the volcanoes like Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, Hawalai. Those really protect against eastern storms from the east. But when the storms are coming from the west, like they have been recently, you know, it works polar opposite really. So the weather's great in Hawaii. You're not going to be able to find many people who can complain about the weather unless they live in Hilo or Hana, or some places rainy. And if they do complain, they'll complain anywhere. It's great weather here. Adventure life, water sports in particular, is really great here in Hawaii. We got lava flows, hiking through jungles, forests, waterfalls. It's really difficult to do all the hikes, in particular on the Big Island, but even if you are on other islands in the state, you know, to do them all in the span of a couple years is a real challenge. There's that many, so that's why it's easy to do the hikes usually if you're in fairly decent shape, but there's just so many opportunities to hike. You can get anything from walking across a lava field to come across an ocean entry of lava going into the ocean. You can get many different waterfall hikes. There's Akaka Falls, Rainbow Falls. You go up to the Boiling Pots up above Rainbow Falls, Manoa Falls on Oahu. Tons of waterfalls in Hana, tons of waterfalls in Kauai. Just great. You can grow your own food here. I mean, with all that rain, even if you live in one of the arid places, there's still enough water here, climate-wise, to grow your own food. So one thing to keep in mind about that is there is this rat worm disease or something. You might want to look into it. I don't know much about it, but they say, I guess the rats poop, slugs and stuff go over the poop and then crawl onto your food and the veggies, and it causes rat lung disease or something like that. But usually the new people are the ones who talk about that, not the people who've been here for a while. So it's something that the new people are told to watch out for, but most of the time locals and people who've been around here, they don't really pay attention to it. I'm only throwing it out there because a lot of these new people that come here, they talk about it and they ask about it, so something to consider. Like about that food, there's like wild guava, wild papaya, wild mango, wild avocado, wild banana, wild coconut. Just grows out in the forest. I mean, you can forage for it. Pretty cool, right? Being able to go forage for your own food. Um, with that being said, there's also no land predators. There is marine predators like tiger sharks and stuff and other sharks, but as far as land predators go, there is none. I mean, wild pigs or feral pigs are all over this island. They're not really a predator, and they're not really that dangerous to people. But you know, you can go into any jungle and not have to worry about a predator. Whereas if you're in Australia or in Costa Rica, you know, you got snakes and pumas and jaguars and who knows what else is in there. You got friendly people here. The people are friendly, okay? It's outside of the fact you get people on drugs every once in a while. Yeah, there are people on drugs that do bring the community into a whirlwind. I mean, sometimes people will talk to themselves and be like, whoa, that's not, I didn't expect to see that in paradise. Or you might get some uptight, uppity mainland person who's a snowbird, comes and goes, and they're, you know, they're gonna do the same thing they do on the mainland, where you try and talk to them maybe and be like, wow, what's up their butt? But no, honestly, people are really friendly here. Honestly, it's not an over exaggeration, even though people will always try to challenge it just because they're in a bad mood. Maybe they're the type of people to stay away from. But for the most part, there's really friendly people here. People are just in good mood. Tourists, the locals. It's not like really a problem to start up a conversation with pretty much anyone. I like the fact that it's seasonal. You can look forward to certain seasons, like, well, the winter is a season that usually brings a little bit of change to Hawaii. Snow on Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, whales come back, surfing the waves come back, all that stuff. So in the wintertime, it's cool. Summertime, you know, you get to look forward to like tons of sunshine. So just some interesting tropical seasonal differences. Obviously, if you're in Montana, you're going to get snow, locked in cold weather in many parts of America in the winter, and then spring is beautiful flower time. But here you get, you know, whale migration, surfing, and, you know, tropical situations. Transport is pretty easy around here. I mean, you don't really need a car. You can have a car. It's an island. You can take a bus across the island anytime. It's a bus. It's not going to have the same convenience, but as far as transportation goes, transport is, you know, outside of Oahu, there's not a lot of like Los Angeles, Miami, Dallas, you know, style gridlock traffic. Honolulu does get that, but outside of Honolulu, you know, it's pretty good flow of traffic. I mean, there's a little bit of traffic in Hilo and Kona. You know, you get the Hilo crawl. I think they call it the Pahoa crawl or something like that, where the traffic at night is a little bit clogged up, and I think it's like that over here in Kona a little bit on the on Highway 19, but they're widening both those roads, so it's easy to relax. If you're into nature, you can really escape into the forest. The Big Island is pretty affordable compared to places like California. Even Honolulu is expensive, but compared to like the Big Island, Kauai, both more affordable than places like California by a long shot. You can get a place in Hilo for like $900 a month for Hawaii. That's pretty good, right? $800, $900 a month. You can, you know, good. That's a pretty good price. Obviously, in Honolulu, maybe the lowest you'll get is $1,200 to $1,300. Still affordable for those of you who are coming from New York or California. Diverse climates. It's really cool because there's so much diversity in climate. Like I said earlier, the weather, you know, that really makes it interesting. So as far as the cons go, you can get island fever here. Island fever is been there, done that, been there, done that, been there, done that, kind of, okay, repetitive, okay, kind of feeling sheltered, kind of like, okay, I've been here for a while, get a little pent up. That's island fever. That's a con that, you know, you might not think about when you're first in your initial love affair with being in Hawaii, but after a couple months, people do tend to sometimes fall into that rut. On the Big Island, island fever doesn't typically set in until about 1 to 2 years, but in places like Oahu, it sets in a lot faster. everybody's in love with Oahu because they love the big city life. But I mean, don't get me wrong, the locals would rather you just stay in the cities and not come to their rural communities, really, because, you know, too many people takes away from a lot of the fun. But hey, people are going to do what they do, whether I say so or the locals say so or anybody says so. People are going to travel and migrate. It's just the way it is. Sometimes it's hard to get things. Small town, you know, Amazon Prime is probably a good thing, but if you really need something, it's going to cost a lot. It's really hard to get things. Not much of a nightlife in Hawaii, except for in Honolulu, but outside of that, I mean, don't expect too much nightlife activity on the Big Island or even Maui or Kauai. It's, unless you're going to like local parties, birthday parties and stuff, and you're in there with the locals, there's not much nightlife. High prices for pretty much everything, food in particular. I mean, food is really high priced here. I think milk is like $9, orange juice is 10. You know, that's expensive. Eggs are like 7. Just expensive. Expect 10 to 15% more for all commodities and food. Another con that kind of to think about is, I think they call it sunshine guilt. So going back to the whole thing that we all love, the sunshine, sometimes you just need a break, right? You just need to just take a day to just chill out. Maybe even take a week or a month to just chill out if you've really been going pretty hard, right? It's going to be sunny as all can be, beautiful day, but you're just tired and you're like feeling guilty because you're like, it's November 10th, beautiful day outside, and I am tired. That's sun guilt. You know, you do that kind of does happen. Another thing about there's a con. It's really hard to find things that are cons about Hawaii, but you know, people do find them. I would have to say that's about my list of pros and cons. I mean, obviously, I got more pros to say about Hawaii than I got cons. I would say, yeah, sorry. It's a perfect way to end the video, right? Just basically the point is Hawaii is better than it is worse. So if you like these kind of videos, I travel a lot. I'm going to start traveling some more. I've been living in Hawaii for 2 years, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to hearing from you.